Hello survivors, welcome to a brand new Silly Saturday video. Today we are playing the Legionnaire and we are going to be armor stacking through the roof. In order to do that we are going to be running skills that provide us with resilience as well as get some other juicy things from the tree or from the titans themselves. So I did try this, it is successful, it does work with the base skills of the Legionnaire. You don't need to do anything funny or funky. So over here you can see we did do a victory. With a thrust, shield bash, bloodlust, flurry, on guard, and shield wall. But we're not going to be using flurry and on guard today. We've decided to use two slam skills for the resilience stacking. We're using seismic slam and whirling defense, which are from slam mastery. And then we got reroll mastery, weapon expert, synergetic, advanced tactics, critical mastery, and battle proficiency. Let's get straight into it. We're going to do this on the +0 void, sigil of the void. Even though it is ridiculously ridiculous, like we're on 5.6 times damage multiplier, unfortunately I don't believe the damage is that high to do much higher titans or anything like that. So we're not going to do this any, maybe this version of it is much better. We'll have to double check and see how quickly we can finish this. If we can do this really quickly, like the bosses and things like that, if they get defeated really quickly, then this can be a build for higher titan runs. But without those big builds and things like that, we're not going to be able to, the big damage, sorry. Centurionate is actually massive here. Getting an increased duration of our army is really good there. We get an early shield wall, which is amazing. Area of effect as well. Now, what shield wall does is it's a buff. It has a massive cooldown, which is a problem, which is what we're going to work on as well. And what it does is increases our armor. So right now you can see our armor is sitting at a 339, so 54% damage reduction. That's without the 220 increase from there, or the 80% increase from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait a little bit for the cooldown. Oh man, it takes so long. We really need that cooldown reduction. We're going to take chromatic slash just so we can get a single one of the poison upgrades. We're not looking for the others. And then we're just waiting for, there we go, shield wall just activated. So with that, we are now at 81.9% damage reduction. So that's running both shield wall and our ascension, and it just massively increases. So it went from a 5 times damage multiplier to a 19 times damage multiplier, but it does drop quite quickly because of shield wall's cooldown and duration. So we need to work on those two. But yeah, massive amounts of damage incoming. Let's go do this quickly. Where's the skills? There's bloodlust. Don't need area of effect. There's poison. So ooh, okay. So the poison was important. It helps us get rid of chromatic bolt quicker now. But we actually we lost a little bit of damage on our shield bash over there. The thing is though, damage on shield bash doesn't change the damage multiplier on it. So that damage multiplier is purely how much armor your character has, and therefore it's not that big of a deal. Obviously it's massive damage increase and you do want to focus the damage, but if you miss one or two of them, it's not as important as if you miss damage on like a stacking damage skill like the burns or things like that. Okay, there's whirling defense, potency here, increase armor, that, grab ourselves merciless, multicast on the thrusts are good. There's seismic shock, so we can get rid of chromatic slash now. We get ourselves multicast chance on frontal skills. We've got 3 of them, that's beautiful. More multicast chance. We don't need skills anymore, and we've got the 2 poison for our poison to dazed from our boss fight, so that's pretty cool. So now we're going to get the dazed, which is fine. We're going to land up probably going for form on hit, exposed on hit. Yeah, we'll probably have to do Misa hit twice actually. And we'll go from there, because form is actually pretty good here with the critical strike chance. We might not need form though, but we'll see. Alright, unfortunately I don't believe we can, nope. I thought maybe the circle would be a little bit more generous, but unfortunately it isn't. I'm just hoping by getting these slam skills, we're going to be able to get a far more resilience, because in the previous iteration that I attempted, we only got like 100 stacks of resilience, and this way we can probably get far more, and that way we're also going to land up with a lot more armor in the build, which means more damage. Okay, let's go. Slam to thrust is actually beautiful. Grab damage for our army. Cast frequency. Prowess to resilience is good for us. That means more resilience. We can also get it so we get the broken Playz upgrade where we can get more prowess stacks. So that will also increase the amount of resilience we gain. The damage is feeling slightly stronger, but I can only tell you once we start fighting the boss whether or not it was actually better, or is actually better. So damage increase for empowering or lasting skills, it increases whirling defense, that's fine. And then the potency increases here goes from plus 300 to plus 360, a massive increase over there. Armor increase for our Centurionate is also one of the things that we're looking for, and beautiful upgrade choices that we're actually getting over here. So this is going very well. I believe it feels like it's going much better. We're also getting the crit chance upgrades here from slam to a thrust, so we are getting additional critical strike chance on our skills that we otherwise didn't have. So we might not even need to get form on hit. It all depends on how much critical strike chance we get. Alright, unfortunately we have lost out on our ascension now, so our damage has slowed down slightly. A 14.9 damage multiplier once shield wall is active. But that's why the duration on our ascension is very important as an upgrade. And it's very easy to get during boss fights as well, so it's not like you have to worry too much from there. Alright, he is defeated. We'll do the 1 over here and then the 3 over there. Now, unfortunately, yesterday we did discover a little bit of a strategy with the Cobalt Brothers and Broken and Shattered. However, I also landed up discovering it the hard way that you actually require 2 Shattered sources to be able to get that actual passive. So just be careful over there. I obviously had Shattered in my builds from other things and I didn't know about it, and I thought you only needed 1 Shattered. Pyromancer gets shattered from her Ascension, so that's where the second source came from for that character. And then obviously the characters I had before must have had it in their artifact power and things like that. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. You do need 2 sources of shattered for it to work. Alright, this isn't too difficult, but obviously the bosses don't take as much damage as they will as soon as we get our Ascension up and running. Although we don't really have to worry too much about damage. Another thing you could do is instead of the slam skills, you could grab like Earth Shield, which does have Retaliate on it, and then you're practically immortal. But there we go. As soon as we add our Ascension in, beautiful damage. But that's the problem with the build, is right now we're focusing the extra additional damage from there. So that's why we're trying to get the battle proficiency, and that's why we're also trying to get our our armor stacking as high as possible, just so things like that work much better. Slam to thrust, skill chance, skill chain, that's beautiful. We can increase the damage of seismic shock. It's not really the end of the world. It's got some pretty decent damage to it, and it's spread among a whole lot of enemies. We can go and grab a magnetic as well, so if we do find the loot goblin, then we will be in a good spot with that as well. I think we need multicast, a lot of multicast chance on these slam skills though. But over here, some decent damage happening. Obviously, as soon as we get our Ascension, we're going to be in a much better spot. The only thing that's currently wrong with the Legionnaire is he does have his Ascension bugged. So two of them aren't working the way they're supposed to, and it's the one that I'm actually using over here. So do just know that it is a bug. The developers are aware of it, and it will be fixed in the next available update. So yeah, if you think you're using your artifact power to your advantage, unfortunately you can't. Won't work. Alright, and there we go. As soon as we're able to get the boss down and dusted, increased damage of the brutal traits. No, we do get resilience now as a chance to apply purity. That's also a really good one. So we'll probably land up coming and grabbing that one just so we can get ourselves some healing. But first we want to go and get the dazed to whatever. We'll grab the resilience to purity. And then we'll also grab ourselves the, what is it that we call it? We'll grab ourselves the upgrade to exposed. So all hits will apply exposed as well from Misa hit. So then we've also got some healing going on over here. And then we've got insane amounts of armor. We've got insane amounts of healing. The character will just become tanky as F. Okay, let's go with a little bit more magnetic, more HP over here. We need to cast frequency. I would like to get a duration increase there as well if possible. But the more cast frequency and the more potency we get for the shield wall, the better. So those are the things we're kind of looking for. Obviously we are struggling with that right now because we're not getting it, but we'll start to get rid of some of the damage numbers that we see up. We'll start banishing damage skill upgrades that we don't need, like the whirling defense or the seismic slam and things like that. Okay, let's start doing that. Movement speed is actually okay. Multicast is good. Damage is not necessary. Armor is good. That's fine. We're on 87 crit. There's a damage one we don't need. Cast frequency is good. Resilience to form. There we go. That's pretty good. Critical strike damage on the skill here. That's really good. Cast frequency. I guess that means we don't need the critical strike chance there. So we can go and grab ourselves another relentless. Okay, let's go for some damage on slam we don't need. There's a relentless. Here's another cast frequency and another armor increase over there. So we also need to get another 3 of those armor increases to get the armor to 105%, which is going to obviously increase our damage. It's a multiplicative. So essentially we literally go up to 100% more armor. So let's say our armor is sitting on 600. It will then be 1200 as soon as we add our Ascension into the mix. So it really is a massive increase to our armor, and definitely not something you want to sit around and not get. So that's why we are focusing on grabbing our Ascension as often as possible, because the armor increase is just absolutely bonkers. I mean, 31.7%, 31.7 times more damage, and that's a really low amount compared to what we can get as long as we just keep getting more and more armor and things like that. So let's re-roll here. Cast frequency is good. Duration again is beautiful. We get potency upgrades. We get a beautiful increase over here to relentless. We don't need area of effect for these skills. So the cast frequency there is beautiful. I am using rerolls. There's armor, there's a multicast chance on both slam and on all the other skills, so they get 40%. We also get a cast frequency upgrade to our shield wall. The only thing is I haven't seen duration, and duration on the shield wall is one of the buffs that you'd like to take it on because it does have a really long cooldown. So getting yourself more duration on it is actually really powerful. But there's a potency upgrade, so 440% damage now from 360, sorry, armor, which is a pretty big upgrade in my eyes. This is also pretty good, thrust to slam, because we do have more thrust skills. But now that we've got that increased duration on this, the Ascension, you're going to notice a big difference as well. But having the thrust upgrade does also mean that we're going to see far more resilient stacks now. Hopefully. Alright, unfortunately the Ascension did end, but we should be able to still do a lot of damage. Yeah, we're still doing pretty decent damage. And also we can just sit. Look, we have quite a decent amount of block chance. We take 1-2s, 1-2s, 1-2s in damage, and that's because of our armor. Slam to chaos. We don't need the duration. We don't need the damage. It's on 10.2. There's a potency upgrade, cast frequency. There we go. Lovely duration upgrade. So now it lasts for 5.2 seconds. It's only down for 2 seconds right now. We need to get it up to be permanent, and that's going to be the objective. Obviously, I think it might be permanent as soon as we get the bloodlust stacks going, but we'll see. Yeah, the damage is very good right now compared to what it was, so that's really good. We're going to get dazed on hit, which is going to be very good as well. And I wonder if we can stand still. I don't want to try it just yet. I mean, we retaliated there, so that was fine. Let's see how quickly our damage... Yep, the damage just goes up insanely high. And then even more now because shield wall got increased. So it's a very interesting build, but like I mentioned, it's not... just the damage isn't high enough for what we need it to be. So it is very good, it's very strong, it's very nice to play, it's very fun to see, oh, you suddenly do massive amounts of damage. But because of the way that it works, it's not really that amazing. I don't think we need the healing first. We can go and grab Mies ahead first, and then we'll go back to Broken to get the healing last. Exposed on hit will have a far more better impact to the build. So we'll do that next. One of them got summoned far away out of the range. Two of them did in like so different places. That's so bad. Alright, luckily, like you can see, as you can see, not like you can see, as you can see, we just need to stand still. Everything stacks up over time regardless. We need to pick up our next... What? Like, how did that happen? I think that's just unfortunate circumstances. Alright, multicast chance is good. Let's re-roll here. Prowess, increase the duration again. So it's now got a 7-second duration. Damage increase for that. Increases the potency here, so we're fine getting that. There's more potency as well on the shield wall. So we're looking at 590. What I got in my first iteration of this was 800 armor on it. So I was it looks like I was a little bit luckier there. But we still got time. Hopefully we can get far more potency upgrades. The damage is looking pretty good as long as our Ascension is up. We're sitting on 300 stacks of retaliation as well. Our armor has now gone to 2,457, so we have 92.2% damage reduction. That's why we can just chill. We don't need more area that way, so we're going to grab the cast frequency. Damage reduction's beautiful. Grab that. That should be the last one we need. Thrust to slam. critical strike chance for these skills, slam to thrust. Ooh, this is looking good. And then obviously the cast frequency decrease because of bloodlust is, or increase, is actually very, very good here as well. Look at this. Okay, a swift is good, resilience to form, another duration, beautiful, increases to armor. We can grab a merciless as well to increase the critical damage we apply. Alright, so even with the Centurionate, it looks like our damage is getting much better. So this is like a little bit of a late blooming build. It does need all those beautiful stacks and different things to help with the damage. But as you can see, once you've got it, you're in a much better spot. So we'll do the other one over here, and then we can do the 4 down there. Let's just grab our Ascension first because it started to spawn. So this is the only thing with the Ascension is you need to kind of focus it, otherwise you're not going to be able to get to use it properly. The last one's up over there with all the XP on the floor for us. It is a boss fight, so that's fine. We can grab the armor over the area of effect. Cast frequency we don't need anymore. There we go, we get that cast frequency. Damage, multicast is good. Critical strike chance is good. Multicast now and potency on the buffs are going to be the best thing for us. The only thing is you don't get damage increase if you increase your overall damage. So prowess affects some of the buffs. Actually, it doesn't affect any of the buffs. The only buff I think prowess would affect is arcane shield because of the way it works. But that's for a whole nother video. Yeah, the damage is looking good. 52 times damage. Insane. Okay, we get cast speed, which we just need a little bit more. More resilience, more life is good. Multicast, cast frequency, there's beautiful potency. And obviously the potency, even though it feels like it's a little bit, you always got to just double it because we're getting the 90% bonus from our Ascension, as well as the retaliate bonuses. So it will actually be interesting. Our armor right now is 426 as a base. Let's see what it goes to right now. So 426, we go to 122, about 1230. But the important, actually, this damage is for real. Like, adding exposed is going to be great. Maybe you can do this on a harder difficulty. I wouldn't say like, but maybe a +1, +2. But it takes a very long time to get going, so it's going to be very difficult to get up here. But that was actually really good. Being able to defeat the boss without your Ascension is, I think that's quite the achievement. So that's really good. There's another increase, and we get the exposed on hit. And now we can go grab healing from Broken, and that's going to be like the easiest fight. So that's really, really cool. So here we get resilience to purity. Again, you need 2 sources of resilience. In the previous iteration I showed in the beginning of the video, we only had 1 resilience, which was the thrust skill, so we could never get that healing. But this time we've got the whirling defense, seismic shock. Another thing that you could do is grab yourself whirling defense, earth shield, if you don't want the other healing. That will make you obviously a lot more more of a healing aspect. However, you do lose a lot of damage that way because seismic slam is giving us a lot of prowess. And it is giving us resilience as well, where Earth Shield only gives you resilience. Just something to think about. And then succeeding with this one yesterday, we landed up doing it with a dot build, where you can get from Broken, you can get bleeding. Oh, was it Broken? No, it was Misahet. Misahet has an upgrade with bleed that is multiplicative, the passive, instead of additive. So it actually deals insane amounts of damage. We do see a little goblin over here. kind of funny. He ran us to the next objective. Critical strike chance. We do get the potency upgrade. That's far better than the damage increase over there. 63.7 times. Skill, frequency, potency, multicast, cast frequencies are what we're looking for. We go for movement speed. Again, is this fine now? One more, so now it's below its cast frequency. So we can banish the cast frequency there. But we've got a permanent shield wall now. So our armor is always going to be really high. And now we only really have to look at getting the armor for passive upgrades. So our retaliation is also extremely high. We're sitting on 94.7% damage reduction, which is insane. We only need one more, which is over here. Let's just do this. Okay, without our ascension, we're actually on 36.2 times damage. And without the ascension, we sit at 89.9% damage reduction. So it does show you there's quite a lot of damage reduction just coming from our ascension. So there's even more because we get that beautiful upgrade. There's damage increases, so 770 to 850, beautiful. More resilience. Actually getting the damage over here is fine as well because that increases that. Poison to doom, no. Cast frequency is fine. A little bit more movement speed. Multicast. Slam to chaos. What the heck? Cast frequency, more resilience. I think we don't need more resilience anymore. Now we're looking for potency upgrades. Beautiful. Duration we don't need. Critical strike chance, potency. Don't need the cast frequency for this specific skill, but we'll grab general cast frequencies just so that it multiplies with the bloodlust as well, so that we can get these lower than the 1 seconds and so on and so forth. But armor sitting at 434 as a base. We activate shield wall. It's sitting at 1459, and then we should be able to get a lot of stacks through retaliation, resilience. So resilience is now at nearly 600 stacks, and that gave us 2000 armor in total. So we always, as long as we're fighting and there's no cutscene, we're pretty much over 90 damage reduction, and that's without our ascension. So that's madness. This went far better and smoother than yesterday. Definitely can do +1. Alright, we're gonna go do this first. And we wanted the resilience to purity. So now we are pretty much immortal. We've got healing. We do 90% damage reduction or even higher. And that is calculated before flat damage reduction, which we've got about 6 to 8 in as well. So actually, how much do we have? We have 12 flat damage reduction. So if a skill is supposed to do 14 damage, it will then do 2 damage instead to us. So we've got insane amount of damage reduction, and now we've just added healing into the mix as well, which is pretty cracked, if you don't mind me saying. And we just got 20 free levels with this as well, so let's use them. Ooh, we actually get a poison increase there for change. We can increase the multicast there. Armor increase, beautiful armor increases coming in there. Multicast, damage increase, laugh. This is one of the builds where you want to see armor as much as possible. Damage, potency, armor, multicast, block. I don't really think we need those. Block is better, potencies are great. And we're sitting at 1098 armor just from shield wall alone. That is incredibly insane. I mean, just the shield wall alone, even if you had to use this on another character, even without the 100% increased armor, is massively insane. Like that alone is about like 80% damage reduction or something. So ridiculous.
A new chapter of glory, written in blood, sweat, and loyalty.
Let's see, we're sitting at 2000. Yeah. 2000. Oh, well, that's actually including the 1000 stack. So the limit for buffs is 1000. So we actually like at the limit. So we're on 2448, 92% increased armor reduction. We'll see what happens once we get the 100% increase there. It will probably only go to like 94%. That's because of diminishing returns on armor. You can get to 100%, but the number is something like incredibly insane, like 100,000 stacks, or a number on the board for armor needs to be like over 100,000. And I don't think, I mean, I think you could get it eventually, but I think it just takes way too long. So people would land up losing before then or something other than that. But there you go. 4,858 armor, 96% damage reduction. I don't think we're going to get much higher. Maybe, I think the cap or the soft cap or the hard cap, the soft cap, there is no hard cap. You can get as high as possible if you want. But I think before you start hitting the really bad diminishing returns, you have to hit 97% if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. It could be 96% like we're on, but it's very possible it's 97% as well. Also not interested in you. That you can't unfortunately block. That is a one-hit KO regardless of your damage reduction. But a 95.7 times damage multiplier. That's pretty busted. Okay, potencies are good. More armor, more multicast, more damage. I don't take that legendary multicast over there. I don't see a point in it. Alright, our damage has definitely come a long way. And now we don't even need to dodge anymore because we've got the resilience to purity, and because we actually apply so much resilience, we can get those purity stacks really quickly so we can heal. I mean, you can see the purity going off behind us. Let's just grab the Ascension first. Over here. This one's down at the bottom. That's crazy how far apart they are. There we go. And like I said, we don't really have to do anything else over here. Perfect. Potency. Oof. Man, this potency increases are actually crazy. Multicast chance there is beautiful. 1158. It's just crazy. If you keep getting potency, more and more and more and more potency, it's just more and more and more damage increases for you. I'm hoping it was enough to push us over to 100 times damage multiplier, because that would have been amazing. You can see it slowly rising as we get more resilient stacks. But yeah, we can literally just AFK here and we'll defeat the Arcane Weaver. I don't have to worry about anything. We don't have to move. We don't have to do anything else. And there you go. Arcane Weaver down. Of course, we do get the boss fight still. So let's go and get some juicy armor increases. There we go. There's a juicy one. Oh wait, do we get armor from this? There was an armor one there. Life regen, increased armor, and increased health. Oh boy. We just need to grab our Ascension and we'll be able to see just how much damage we can do, but we might land up defeating him before we get that. So no using manual aim, nothing like that. I'm hoping for the Ascension to pop up before we defeat him, because I want to see that beautiful damage increase. Also, we're literally taking 1 damage. So there's our Ascension. Let's go and grab it, get it up and running. That is up and running. We are at 5,200, so 96.3 damage reduction and 104% times, 104 times damage multiplier. We did it. We got ourselves to 100%. This build is absolutely broken, guys. Like, I did not expect it to be like this. I did not expect it to go so well. compared to when I was doing it yesterday, testing to see if it could work. Oh, I'm so happy I did those rune changes.
No, I am a king of death.
Final phase. Let's defeat him. And again, we don't even need to worry about dodging because we have 96% damage reduction plus the 12 flat damage reduction, and we've got insane healing. There you have it. Definitely can do higher difficulties with the damage reduction. Our damage did seem like it was good enough, but I don't think you can go very, very, very high with it just because it is such a slow starting build. Like, it took us 2 to 3 Titans to start feeling like we're in a good spot. So yeah, do with it as you will. I had a really fun time here. I don't mind it doing a +0 Sigil of the Void. I think that was absolutely bonkers, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that just as much as I enjoyed playing it. So let's see the damage numbers. Only 7. Okay, so that's really low compared to what I thought it would be, but it is what it is. No dots, only that little bit of poison so we can get the doom. And our catapult actually did more damage from our ascension and arrow support than anything else. I mean, purity actually dealt more damage than you know, the thrust and seismic shock. So it just shows you what a support skill kind of looks like, where this isn't about doing the damage, it's about giving us form and resilience. It's not about doing the damage, it's about giving us prowess and resilience. And then whirling defense has always been busted because of the amount of time it hits enemies. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.